Hey everybody, it's PartyElite, and today we're finally going hands-on with a super early build of MENACE, the next turn-based tactics game from the folks that brought us Battle Brothers. If you follow the channel, you'll definitely have heard me talk about it as one of my most anticipated games since it was first announced, and I even dropped a video just earlier this month going over a bunch of details that the devs have been talking about through their dev diaries. I'll link to that video at the end of this one too, just in case you want to check it out. Needless to say, I am super pumped and so excited to be showing you the game in action today, and if you like what you see, as always, please don't hesitate to go wishlist the game on Steam. That's the best way to support indie developers in particular, especially because of how visibility works on the platform. Plus, it's an easy way to stay up to date with the game, and I'm sure it's a great motivator for the devs too, so I'll have a link to the store page in the description down below. Now, I'll probably release a few videos with this early build of the game, but do bear in mind that it's a limited build focused primarily on the combat layer. So the strategic layer is missing, we won't have factions to build relationships with, we won't be able to hire more squad leaders, and we only have access to a fraction of the equipment that the game will actually release with. We're also just fighting on one biome and against one enemy type, whereas the game will release with multiples of both. With that said, we are going to see some procedural generation, and so there's actually quite a bit of time to spend in the game despite those limits, even in this early state. Now I'll have timestamps down below to skip around as you'd like, since I will go over some initial game setup and mission prep for each battle and detail some of the systems as we start, especially so you can follow along, and then there are the actual battles we'll be fighting. You might be interested in one, the other, or all of the above, so yeah, timestamps down below to help you jump around. One last thing before we begin, I do just want to point out that MENACE is published by Hooded Horse, and outside of the channel, I am affiliated with the publisher. While this isn't a sponsored video and they don't have any say or control over what I do on the channel, I do like to mention it every time I cover one of their games, just for the sake of transparency, and considering I'm affiliated with them primarily because I love all the games they're publishing, it should be no surprise to see those games on the channel from time to time. For more details about said affiliation, check out the video linked in the description down below. But now, with no more time to waste on an introduction, let's finally dive on in. Alright, first things first, let me just reiterate again real quick that this build of the game does not include the strategic layer, instead focusing almost entirely on the combat layer of the game. That means there are some mechanics and screens and systems that I won't be able to show you, for example, the system map. The system map is what you typically see when you start a game of MENACE, and that allows you to jump from planet to planet to planet, taking on the various missions that are being presented at those planets by the various factions that run those planets. And by accomplishing those missions successfully, you'd build relations with the associated faction, and if you do that enough, you'd actually get access to additional upgrades and improvements and buffs that could help you both off and on the battlefield. So that's the general overarching strategic layer in terms of how you're moving around and choosing which missions to take on, but there are other aspects of the strategic layer as well that aren't in this build. For example, the OCI screen would allow us to use resources to upgrade our ship, the TCRN Impetus, and those upgrades include a variety of things that, again, bolster our capabilities both off and on the battlefield. We also don't have access to the Blackmarket, which is where you typically go to gain access to additional equipment, weapons, armor, vehicles, accessories, that kind of thing. Instead, here we're going to be relying entirely on loot and rewards from the various missions we'll be taking on. And finally, we also don't have access to the hiring screen, which is where you'd normally go to hire additional squad leaders. We do have access to the squads screen here, so very quickly, we have these 6 squad leaders who, if the title didn't give it away, each lead their own squads, and each of these are individual people with individual backstories and personalities and individual skill trees as well. There are a lot of things that are common between them, but some of these things are unique to the individual character, and the layout is always a bit different as well. So it's not like everybody has access to all of the same skills at all the time, or even at all the same levels, or even in the same, kind of cost structure. The other thing to keep in mind is each of these characters, each of these squad leaders, has this unique sort of specific to them perk that they start with. And that really can determine how they may or may not be best used and what you'd like to do with them. But more on this in a moment, because there's quite a bit to talk about here, including equipment and promotion points and things like that. So we'll come back to this in a bit. First, let's talk about this screen, which we opened with. Again, there's a system map that we're not seeing, and that system map presents you with a bunch of missions across a bunch of planets. When you pick one of those missions and one of those planets to come to, you're presented with this mission select screen, and this is what's referred to as an operation. The point of an operation is to get from the start, down over here, to the finish up over here. And as you can tell, there are branching paths right from the beginning to do so. You can choose any one of these nodes to take on, as long as you're sort of making progress from one end to the other, based on a variety of factors. As long as you're able to get to the end and complete that final mission, that's when you get that, mission accomplished, thumbs up, well done. But it is really a matter of how you progress through the rest of these missions, and each of these represents a battle to get to that finish line, and to cross that finish line, I should say. Actually, getting to it isn't enough. You have to cross it, otherwise that's mission failure. Now, these operations take on different shapes and sizes. We got very lucky with this one that we got a really cool one to showcase, where there are 2 points to start from, and there are some branching paths as well, with a bit of an overlap over here at this node, so I could start with either, go here, then go to the finish line, so on and so forth. Sometimes it'll be a lot more simple, sometimes the complexity is introduced in the middle as opposed to at the beginning, so there are a variety of procedurally generated shapes and structures, and each of these missions within the overarching operation is also procedurally generated on procedurally generated maps. Now, I want to quickly go over this screen, and again, folks, timestamps down below if you want to skip around and jump to the parts that you're most interested in. But I do want to talk about this screen a little bit, because it is, I find it fascinating. So there's a lot of choice here. There's a lot of thought here in terms of how you want to proceed with any given operation. For example, right off the bat, where do we want to start? Stop extortion or secure perimeter? Well, what do we take into consideration? A few things. Mission difficulty, the supply limit, which I'll talk a bit more about in just a moment's time, the objectives, maybe one mission is more suited for my playstyle or for my current squad makeup or something like that, and then of course the rewards. What rewards do I actually care for? Stop extortion over here will give me modular vehicle light. That is a light weapon for my vehicles. It'll also give me civilian trading post, which upon completion of this mission gives us +5 trust with the local faction and +1 civilian trading good. Now, in the full game, that would be very beneficial to me, but in the context of this build and this showcase, those rewards aren't so, well, rewarding. Let's take a look at secure perimeter instead. This would give me a vehicle accessory, and it would also give me expanded LZ. Upon completion, the friendly deployment zone is increased by 20% for the rest of this operation. And see, that's a key thing about choosing which missions you want to take on, because a lot of these rewards are applicable for the entire rest of the operation. That means for any mission I take on afterwards, I'll have that benefit. But let's not just consider here. Depending on the choice I make, I'm going to be excluding myself from either this or this. So let's take a look at these as well. Search weapon caches, 2 difficulty. Protect town, 1 difficulty. Okay, so this is the easier route potentially. But let's take a look at this one. We have infantry armor as a reward and boss man den. Upon completion, gain random pirate faction item. Okay, intriguing. This one over here, we get a vehicle accessory and a local clinic. Upon completion, heals infantry 40% after each mission for the rest of this operation. So, getting that sooner is definitely better, but it's not entirely useless either. In the middle, I could do this mission either way. That's 3 skull difficulty, so I'll probably be skipping this one for this first video. But it would give us infantry special and local clinic. Upon completion, heals infantry 40% after each mission for the rest of this operation. So you can see that, part of the rewards are similar, but do I care more about a vehicle accessory? Do I care more about this infantry special weapon? And it won't necessarily be an RPG, it could be any infantry special weapon. And then also, again, which objective do I feel more comfortable with might actually determine which way I go. As much as I'd love to say, let's go the hardest way through this, the first go around, I actually want to try and make progress without having, my knees taken out from under me. So let's actually go for secure perimeter, because I was already genuinely interested in the expanded LZ, and then we'll go through this simple path just to get to the final mission, repel counterattack. This one will reward us with an infantry weapon, and accomplishing this will, give us mission success. We'll actually have completed the full mission that we came to this planet for, but it wouldn't give us any of these additional benefits, because these additional benefits only apply for the particular operation you're on, and the final mission, of course, once you accomplish it, you're no longer on that operation. Completing the final mission, however, does grant some resources that you use at that strategic layer, and that's why you're obviously trying to get to the finish line. You can always abort partway through in like the full game. You can always abort, but there's reason, of course, to try and actually get the job done. So with all that said, let's go ahead and actually pick this mission and go into planet. And I did tell you I was going to talk about squads in a moment, but don't worry, I don't have to do it through this individual screen. I can also do it through the mission prep screen, which is what we're going to see next. So, this is mission prep, and on this screen, we have, well, a lot to do. First of all, we can see quite a bit of information about the battlefield itself. Normally, you wouldn't have access to as much information, but because in this build, our ship, the TCR and Impetus, has been upgraded to have intelligence level 2, we actually have access to a fair bit of information to work with. Normally, all of these little red pips that you're seeing on the field would be these kind of gray clouds, unknown allegiance, unknown entity. But again, because of that intel level 2, we're able to see that, oh, this over here is a pirate unit, but we don't know exactly what kind of pirate unit. Up over here, this one's infantry. Down over here, some more infantry. These guys are scavengers. So over time, you'll of course learn what each of these like designations mean. But again, with Intel Level 2, we're able to see, okay, it looks like there might not be any vehicles in this mission for us to face off against. It is possible that these two unknown entities, or these three unknown entities, or four unknown entities, one of them might be a vehicle. But I'm going to go with what I know and say, all right, I guess no vehicles. But how does that actually impact our decision making? First of all, there is a special weapon that is dedicated to taking out vehicles that maybe I don't want to invest in because it's not going to be as useful on this mission, potentially. I'm going to eat these words for sure. But, you know, that eliminates that as a potential decision. Otherwise, if I take a look at this particular squad leader over here, who is a special kind of squad leader, a pilot, she's able to come in a vehicle because she's a pilot. And I have a choice of a couple of vehicles. I have the AATV, and I have the light troop carrier. I'm going to go with the light troop carrier over here because this mission is asking us to sweep the area and clear out 60% of all pirate units. So I want to have a bit of mobility, and this should help out. While picking this vehicle, though, I'm also able to pick additional sort of hard points for it. We have a heavy hard point and we have a light hard point, and while I'd often go with this auto laser because it's got really high armor pen and armor damage, because I'm going with the assumption that there are no vehicles on the battlefield, I'm instead going to go in with this heavy machine gun. And for the light hard point as well, I'm going to go ahead and get the medium machine gun. I could leave it empty, but I'll get the light machine gun and make an adjustment if I have to. And again, I'll explain why I might have to further down the line. But yes, let's go ahead and get you kitted out, and we'll add you to the mission, and I'll be able to actually place them as well. So let's see. I'm fairly confident that over here it's all infantry, right? Because here we've actually identified it's all infantry. So why don't we go ahead and position you over to this side, and then we'll push this way to sweep with Renu here. And apart from just that, we're also going to take a look at Lin. So Lim is an interesting character because in his promotion tree, we have this particular option for mobile infantry. It costs just 5 action points for Lim's squad to enter or exit vehicles, and he also gets additional cover from vehicles. I say he, but his entire squad gets additional cover from vehicles, and that's actually quite useful. Now, he himself starts with this aspiring trait or promotion, if you will, giving a 30% discount to promotions, so we can rather cheaply, for the cost of just 14 promotion points, gain access to this cheapening of entry and exit into vehicles. These are our total promotion points right now. You acquire those by successfully accomplishing missions and things like that. But sure, let's go ahead and spend some to get this. And then Lim, we're going to go ahead and make sure you deploy close to that vehicle that you can hop into. And not just that, we're also going to prepare you for close quarters combat. So let's take a look at what equipment looks like for infantry squads. We've already seen the vehicle squad led by a pilot squad leader, but infantry squads are a little different. For one, well, their weapon choices are different. You're not going to walk around with a vehicle-mounted machine gun as an infantry squad. We have access to these weapons over here. Again, we'll acquire more as we accomplish some of these missions. Typically, the Blackmarket gives you access to even more, but each of these primary infantry weapons have various stats to take into consideration. I'm going to go ahead with the MP3A9 PPP. It's an SMG, and it works great from close range. You can see we're currently carrying this carbine versus this SMG, so this is the comparison that's being brought up with the SMG on the right-hand side of the comparison screen. You'll see a much shorter range, but you'll see higher hit point damage, lower armor damage, sure, lower armor pen, sure, slightly higher suppression, higher rate of fire, and trade value we can ignore. That's related to the black market. But the reason why I want this weapon on Lim's squad is because I intend for this squad to get in a lot closer to the enemy and operate from that close range. You'll see right at the bottom as well 2 graphs, and that is the relationship between distance, accuracy, and hit point damage. And you can see how at a close to, let's call it medium close to medium close range, the SMG is quite effective, but the accuracy is very much about being up close and personal. So I like the sound of that. I don't know if it's the best, the most min-maxed choice, but I like the sound of that, and I think it's kind of cool. So sure, let's go ahead and get you that SMG, and we can also give a special weapon here. Now, you know, I wouldn't give this squad the sniper rifle because my intention is to push this squad close to the enemy. I'm also not sure about giving them, you know, light machine guns and medium machine guns, because these both require a squad to deploy, and it slows them down a little bit. Same thing with a rocket launcher, which again I might not take because there might not be a vehicle here. So actually, you know what? We won't give them a special weapon. Now, here's how that decision works. Currently, this squad consists of Lim and 4 squaddies, and each of them is carrying this infantry weapon. So there's 5 of this infantry weapon. That means that, you know, when I tell them to shoot this weapon, that's 5 individuals that are shooting the weapon based on the type of shot I say. It's that many rounds that each of them is firing, which is great. If I did assign a special weapon, one of those would be swapped out for this special weapon. And these special weapons, like I said, have limitations and restrictions that might actually make it not worth having for this particular squad. What's more, if I were to assign one of these special weapons, I would eat some of the supply just for that one weapon. And if I never actually use it because of the situation I intend to put these guys in, that's wasted supply. Instead, you know, I might save that and increase the size of this squad. Now, squaddies are a limited resource. So as I top these guys up to be a squad of 8, let's go ahead and click on this button to see this limited resource in action. Normally, you can acquire more squaddies in like the strategic layer and stuff, but even there, they're difficult to come by. They're not, you know, readily available because as these guys die on the battlefield, you're losing efficiency. Not only is an individual squad, you know, shooting less guns because they're carrying less guns in a squad and things like that, but I mean, these guys are dying. You don't have access to them for the next mission and the next mission, not just within an operation, but also at the strategic layer, you're losing these individuals. So you want to be very careful with the squaddies, who you assign where, how many you assign, and what situations you put them in. You can also, yes, edit their call signs and their names, which makes it that much easier to get personally attached to them as you watch them die and wither away. But yes, rather than investing in this infantry special weapon, I'm going to go ahead and top this up. I could do both, but I get the feeling my plans will lead us to going over the supply limit actually, and that's why I'm being careful. Anyway, that's just these 2 taken care of. I'll speed up as we go on, I promise you. Next up, let's take a look at Jane Darby. Now, Jane Darby is actually quite capable from range. Her and her squad are extremely capable from a distance, and I'm going to give her this minimize silhouette promotion, because that gives us plus 3% defense bonus for each tile between an actively attacking enemy and the squad leader. And based on how I plan on using Jane here, that's going to be quite beneficial. So let's use the 20 promotion points to get that. And let's go ahead and make sure we're using the most long-range weapon available to us, which I believe is this, the crowbar with a range of 9. I'm not going to go through every stat for every weapon. I just did it the first couple times to show you what I'm kind of paying attention to. But one thing I will highlight here is the difference between the carbine on the left and the crowbar, the battle rifle on the right. The chart at the bottom in particular. You can see how on the left, the highest accuracy is, you know, 4 tiles out. On the right, highest accuracy is 6 tiles out, but you can see both have diminishing damage because it's, you know, kinetic energy lost over distance. And so you really have to decide, okay, do I want to get closer? Do I want to stay farther? And what are my range limits? But either way, we're going to go with the crowbar here and infantry special. Here, the sniper rifle makes sense. We're also actually going to use an accessory slot here because the sniper rifle only has so many rounds to shoot, and ideally, well, I'll have more than that many. So we're going to use the ammo bag here to increase the special weapon uses by 50%. Minimum of 2 will be well over that minimum. And again, that has a supply cost as well, but I think it'll be well worth it. Now, one thing we didn't do actually for Lim, which I should have done, is adjusted his armor. I think it makes sense because he's going to be going in to have slightly heavier armor. We won't go all the way. That's a lot of supply spent there. We could try it, sure. but I don't think we'd be able to afford it alongside everything else I want to do. But let's see what it does. And I do think it's not a bad idea for this guy and his squad to have some grenades as well, because again, they'll be in close quarters, and a frag grenade could go a very long way. In fact, if the quarters get a little hot as well, we might want smoke grenades too. So sure, the buddy over here is fully kitted out, basically, except for that special weapon. But let's see. We've got Jane done, you done, you done. Let's take a look at Jean. Now, I might not take Jean, actually, because she specializes in taking out vehicles. She's got this, like, tank buster capability. There's a few other options as well further down the line, if I'm not mistaken. It is cheaper to kit her out, though. But I won't take this upgrade because, again, we're assuming there are no vehicles, so we'll leave that be. And instead, yeah, you can come in with the carbine. That's fine. We have limited numbers of all this other equipment, so let's stick to the carbine with you. And let's go ahead and actually give you, sure, medium machine gun to provide some, suppression fire and things like that. And some soft armor. Don't want to overdo it, but don't want nothing either. Cody here. You, if I'm not mistaken, are, got a bit of, got a few different options over here. Bit of a commando, I guess, can gain up to 20% defense versus adjacent attacks. So also a good individual to give that SMG to close the gaps and fight in extremely close range. But, I'm going to go a little bit off path over here with Cody, and instead I'm going to get you the assault rifle, I think. Get that extra armor pen, the high rate of fire, and let's get you the light machine gun as well. Actually, this assault rifle, what's the range on you? 8? The grenade launcher, a range of 7. That sounds good. Both weapons can be used from roughly the same distance. And here as well, let's stick with the fatigues. Very risky. You can see I've already gone over my my supply limit, so let's head back to Lim and, yes, tone it down a bit to the Marine Infantry body armor instead, which just barely allows us to get a few more pieces of equipment out there. Pike, let's get you what? This assault rifle? The accuracy modifier is really nice. Sure, let's get you that, and let's go ahead and get you a promotion as well, because Pike over here has call-out target. He's a bit of a leader type. Call-out target gives us a mark a target and gain plus 30% accuracy against it for 2 turns, which could be quite beneficial. So that's the last of our promotions right now, because we only have 6 promotion points left, and nothing costs just 6 promotion points. I think that's pretty much all the planning we can do here. I need to save some more supply. And I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to go about doing that. Maybe we don't need this medium machine gun, actually. Let's go ahead and unequip. -2 still. I suppose I could... You know what? Reduce Jane's squad size to as small as we can go. Because that frees us up a little bit. And again, Jane is going to keep her distance as a sniper, and we don't need more than 3 people in this squad. That'll allow us to get a few more people, perhaps in Pike's squad. Sure, let's do that. And again, with every additional squaddy, that's an additional gun, and so the cost is changing, the supply cost and stuff is changing. I think that's about as refined as we're going to get, unless I want to spend another hour on this screen, and I don't think we want that. So we're going to take our chances. We're going to lay these guys out a bit more. Let's make sure that we are sending Jane down over here. Lots to snipe in this corner. The sniper rifle is good against vehicles as well, so if this does turn out to be a vehicle, we'll be okay. Let's make sure that Pike and Jean are working together on this side, so hopefully take care of what's coming up over here. Definitely a higher level of intensity down over here. I'm almost tempted to kind of put 4 units down over here, 4 squads down over here. You know what, that might not be a terrible idea. Let's go ahead and do that. And that way Pike can help mark targets for more than just one individual. But let's go ahead and do that and see how that plays out. To the battlefield we go.
0311 has landed and continuing on foot. Keep it tight by the force.
All right, I wanted to make sure we got that dropship leaving because I think it is so cool. All right, so now we're on the battlefield, and here I'll just explain mechanics as they unfold. There's a lot of things to consider. If you're familiar with the genre, you'll know about action points and actions and movement and things like that. But anything special that stands out as unique, I'll definitely point out in more detail. And if you have any questions about these systems or anything else I talked about earlier in the video, drop them in the comments down below, and I'll happily try and answer everything that I can. But yes, let's go ahead and dive into it. What do we know, right? We know that there are some unknowns coming from down over here. We know that it is largely infantry coming from over here, and unfortunately we also know that this vehicle is facing the wrong direction for easy mounting on. We're also unfortunately in a spot here, I should have seen that coming, where to get over here we'll have to get around this fence. So it's okay, a bit of initial wastage in movement, but we'll overcome it, I'm sure. One thing that's very much worth pointing out right at the beginning, though, because this is different and it's crucial, is how turns work in Menace. In Menace, the turns are based on a per faction basis. So our turn comes first, and then it's the pirates, and then it'll be us, and back and forth. But for any given turn, we can only move one unit. And as soon as we activate a unit, as soon as we use a single action point from that unit, we are committed to that unit for the end of that turn. And then when we hit end turn, it becomes the pirates, and they get to use one of their units similarly. And once they're done using that unit, it comes back to us, and we can use any one of our other units and use up their action points. And you keep going back and forth like this, completing rounds with each, each pair of turns, basically, completing rounds until every unit's been moved, and then you start, rinse and repeat. Now every unit becomes available again. It'll make sense as we go on. But you can do things like move one unit first in this round, and then last in the next one, or last in this round and first in the next one, and kind of surprise and ambush your enemies and things like that. But let's go ahead and mount up is the first thing I want to do. How far can you get? You can get up to there. So sure, let's get these guys. Oops. Let's get you up to here. Is that the right spot? Yeah, that is the right spot. Let's get you up to there. And turn around and get positioned to pick these guys up, and then we'll move close to where we assume the enemy is. And we can actually rotate our vehicles as well, so let's get you facing that way, because I'm just nervous about these guys not being able to catch up and get in there. We'll end our turn there.
Orders.
And it's us again. We can't see what the enemy is doing. Maybe they're not doing anything. Maybe they're moving very quickly. But nonetheless, let's get Lim and his squad into the vehicle. Up we go. This should help them move just that little bit faster. And again, they can cheaply hop out of the vehicle, which means they can, pop out and pop shots. You'll also notice to the side over here, we have access to some off-map abilities. These are coming from the TCR and Impetus. These are the result of various upgrades and things like that. So if the going gets tough, we are able to use these to help us out as well. Jane, do I want to move you forward? Well, what's the range on the sniper? Quite a bit. But you're probably still too far back, and we do, if we want to move forward, have to make our way around this fence as well. Let's go ahead and creep up to here. Or rather, you know what, let's send someone up to take a peek first, and let's just see what's waiting for us as we move further down. Now, we're the ones responsible for sweeping and clearing, so I don't want to, take for granted that the pirates might come to us. I want to see where they are, and I want to try and have the upper hand here. So there's our first enemy. What do we got over here? Pirate boarding commandos. Now, we don't know too much about them, but taking a look at them, they do look quite tough and scary. Those guns look big, and that armor does look heavy. You can see the bars as well at the bottom right corner. You can kind of get a sense of how dangerous they are, and it does say a team of heavily armored outlaws specialized in boarding and pacifying spacecraft through violent means. I love that descriptor. But fair enough, a little scary over here. We could back up to make sure these guys have to kind of close the gap and to try and hit us. So sure, let's... or you know what? Let's be brave. Let's try and get behind these rocks over here. Oh, we got two of them here. Now you can see they're moving. And we're out in the open over there, which is extremely dangerous behavior, but risk ended up working out for us. Now, you see these guys have become a question mark, but we know they're there. So if I wanted to, I could still attack this tile and potentially cause damage and kill someone or suppress them or what have you. So just because they've become a question mark doesn't mean I can't do anything with this tile. However, between turns, between rounds, it's possible that they have moved, and so I wouldn't want to waste that shot. The sniper is just a little outside reach. I could get a little bit further up, set ourselves up for later. So we're going to creep up to here. And the thing about these special weapons is often, if not almost always, you can't use them unless you're deployed. And deploying costs 20 action points. It puts your squad on their knees. So if you want to move, you actually have to undeploy by spending another 20 action points and then move. So it is expensive, and you really need to commit if you plan on using your special weapons. And I think this is a good spot because I assume these guys are going to come closer and these guys are going to come closer, and we should be able to pop quite a few of them as they try to close the gap. So let's go ahead and deploy over here. Take that knee. This also makes us harder to hit, and it also makes us slightly more accurate. But let's end the turn for you there. Right, now they're coming closer. So again, in the next round, I might opt to start with Jane and pop some shots over here. I can go in any order I want. But Jean, let's get you doing what? I'm a little nervous about getting ahead of myself. There's not a lot of cover over here, and being out in the open is extremely dangerous. Let's tuck up to here, because these have both moved. They'll move... We have to be careful, right? Because the next round, one of them at least will move before us. We have to be very careful about that. Let's creep up a little bit.
Finding cover.
And just play it safe. Again, I could get a little bit closer, but it's not going to have any value, because a shot costs 40 action points. If I want to move to a distance where I can still pull a shot off, I don't have range. So I might as well stay there, because I'm a bit closer to being able to fall back, basically. And let's go ahead and deploy, actually. I'm hoping the enemy comes closer, and then we can just open fire en masse. End our turn there. And what's the range on this thing? Can I call you out? No, you're too far away. I wouldn't mind trying to get that secured. Alternatively, I kind of do the same thing here. Oh man, taking so many risks just being out in the open. But sure, let's pull you over to there. Hopefully we can fire at these guys as they come closer. So we're going to go ahead and deploy. Just try and use that to our benefit. And there's round 2. Like I said, Jane can go first, and we're going to do exactly that. Use that sniper single shot on these extremely dangerous enemies, and fire away. That didn't do a lot of damage. Hit the armor, but didn't actually cause any HP damage. Let's try again. Good stuff. So now these guys are suppressed, and I mentioned earlier that suppression is extremely important. When a unit is suppressed, their action points are severely reduced, and their accuracy is significantly reduced as well. Action points, as you can tell with any one of these games, are extremely important, but especially so with Menace. Being suppressed is the difference between firing twice in a round versus firing a single time. It's the difference between being able to move and shoot and having to stay put. It's a huge difference, and accuracy is absolutely insanely important when you're figuring out when to shoot and at whom. So I'm glad these guys are suppressed. They're probably still going to cause me trouble, though. I don't want to get too excited about my success there, because, well, I'm still going to pay for it. Oh, there we go. See? No surprise. They're able to gun at us from down over there, and we've already lost a couple of squads. Well, we've lost one squaddy, not squad. We haven't lost the entire squad. That would suck. Oh, that would be really rough. But no, we've lost Arnold over here, so lost a squaddy. He's not going to be available to us moving forward whatsoever. There are upgrades available on the Impetus that can potentially save these people, but it's a very low chance of that happening. You'll notice as well, by the way, between turns, a unit that was ordered to shoot will continue shooting just to bring the battlefield to life. These aren't actual rounds being fired. They can't actually do damage or cause suppression, but it's just kind of cool to have that ongoing activity in the background. Now, here's the thing. Do I pull back like a coward, or do I push forward? This guy doesn't look like a coward. Still unaffected, not suppressed or anything, so I could push forward. The assault rifle over here has decent armor penetration. And you'll see when we go to shoot, the damage output calculation is an interesting formula. If we do, let's see. If we do sustained fire, for example, hit point damage is 6.3 times 8 times 3. So that is a calculation based off of the number of shots that are fired, the damage output, and also the number of squaddies that are firing the gun. Remember, each one is individually firing their weapon. Let's go ahead and creep up to here. That will allow me to deploy as well. But let me show you something here. As I go to fire, I guess we can't do sustained fire because that's 80 action points. But if I go to fire a salvo, you'll see that the enemy target being deployed is causing us a reduced accuracy. Worth noting, the enemy didn't actually deploy. They just went down on a knee because I suppressed them. So even though I got the benefit of suppressing them, they now have the benefit of being a smaller profile and technically having deployed. But that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and actually deploy myself as well, leaving action points over for me to pop shots. And you'll see my own unit being deployed now has increased my accuracy as well. So now we've got good accuracy. Still no armor pen and poor suppression, so I don't know how much damage this is going to do actually. But hey, look, this is mainly to showcase the various elements. Let's fire away. Okay, almost chipped away at some armor there. Armor does deteriorate and degrade over time as well, so you can chip away at it and then start doing damage through it. Otherwise, if I could just pin these guys down, stop them from acting, or get them to flee, that would work to my benefit as well. But these guys are in a bit of trouble up over here. As we end this turn, you're going to get up. You're going to move forward, and you're probably going to get some shots off. Yep. No, nice. And that's the power of suppression. If they were not suppressed, these guys would be absolutely dead. So that worked out very nicely for us, actually. Reno, let's go ahead and move you up to here for now. Let's play it at least somewhat cautiously, unlike with our friends at the other corner. Really threw them out in the open. That was... I knew I was taking a risk. Alright. These guys are going to run back a little bit. Fair enough. Wasn't able to identify what they were, like what class or anything. But what we'll do is we'll keep Lim in there. We're not going to pop him out just to go chasing after what could be an ambush. We're going to keep him in there. And I'm trying to figure out if I actually end the turn there and then move these guys later. And I think that's what we'll do. So, Lim, yeah, stay put, buddy. Fair enough.
We have them.
Open fire? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. Not too worried about that. This carbine, we could from here try and hit these guys, but you can see the damage output is negligible. You can see how low that red bar goes. What about Pike here? Just out of reach, eh? So we get a little bit closer. Armor pen at 20. We could try that. I am still worried about these guys as well. Don't want to expose myself too much. We're deployed over there, so I was hoping that these guys would come closer, eh? I guess I could continue hoping that. And we can just fire from over here, because again, also deployed. So sure, medium accuracy, I'll take my chances, pop a couple shots, and hope for the best. Nice. They continue to be suppressed. Again, as you end turns, you actually recover your morale, you reduce your suppression levels. So we have resuppressed them going forward. Let's fire again. I love the banter. I really do enjoy the banter quite a bit. But that's your turn done. And I might need to move Buddy up over here. I don't think we can do anything from back over here. So let's stand up. Pull you over to this side over here.
On task.
And let's get you deployed again. Got quite a few of them coming from here, actually.
Hostiles.
This is a dangerous place to be. But Jane, you're up. Who do we pop shots with first? Let's actually go here first. Sustained fire. Open shots and hope for the best. Nice. Nice, very nice. So they are pinned down. We almost, I think, killed a second squaddie, or maybe we did. No, looks like they're both still alive. But we've made some good progress there. And we stay put and eat shots from two sides. It's a little scary, but hope for the best. Ooh. So they started with a special weapon shot. That missed. That worked out nicely for me. We'll come back to that later because they've already had their turn. No point focusing there. Let's turn our attention to Jane over here and see what we can and can't do. Tempting to hit with the battle rifle, actually. Medium accuracy. You guys are already pinned down. I'd be able to get 2 shots off. The sniper rifle can actually fire all the way back here. Yeah, let's go for it. These guys are pinned. They're in a rough spot. Their accuracy is going to be significantly reduced. Their movement is significantly reduced. So let's leave them be, and let's open shots back over here instead. Nice. Drop one. And let's try and drop another. Nice. Also pinned down. Beautiful. Good shooting. Stay put and turn. Now, do I want to move you first, or do I turn my attention here first? Because these guys haven't moved yet, if memory serves. These guys haven't moved yet either. So sure, let's work with Pike first. Open fire with your salvo. Get to it. I didn't do too much at all. Yeah, the hit point damage there is way too low. Alright, let's go ahead and stand up. and move just a little bit closer. I think we have to.
Listen up. We're moving.
These guys are suppressed and stuff. They're pinned down and suppressed, so I feel not confident, but a bit more comfortable. But these guys scare me. Just crept around the corner, and... Oof. That was a little worrying. Again, I'll turn my attention down to here, actually. And I think we'll have to stand up, move a little bit closer, and open fire. Because they're able to open fire. So, they're not going to come any closer, I don't think. Move 2 down. Okay, I can open... I can do the opening salvo, which might be worth it. If I can just get the suppression off. Accuracy is going to be real poor. Oh, medium accuracy. Okay, it could be worse. And they're open. They're not behind cover anymore, so let's hope for the best here. Dang. I was being very hopeful. There was no chance that I was going to suppress them with that. Alright. We can open fire with either one of our weapons. I think we're okay to actually just open fire with this. 40 action points. I want to get a little bit closer, so that we're able to deploy Lim as well at a good range. Let's move you up and also see what's going on down over here, because I don't want Lim to step out into an ambush, obviously. And from here, let's go ahead and use the medium vehicle weapon, just for a bit more pain. Make sure accuracy 5 times. Yeah, it's all right. Open shots. Let's go. Holy. These guys got absolutely neutralized. Well, just shy of. Now, they're wavering. Wavering is sort of a morale check. Wavering means they won't be able to move until they stop wavering. So the next round, they'll be the last to go. And that obviously has a huge impact, because that means they're stuck in place until everybody else is able to move on their in their faction first. Do I step out? What's going on over here, or do I stay in? I could step out and pop shots, finish these guys off, right? If I come out to here, I'll be able to fire twice, and they will be in range, is what it looks like. Let's pop out to here first. See, the exit cost me 5 either way. Sure, let's step out to here. Not the best range. Again, we want to be closer to have maximum use of the weapon on hand, but maybe just what we need here. Turns out, yes. And nothing else for us to take care of over here, looks like, so let's hop back into the vehicle.
Move it, Marines.
And we'll end our turn there. Oh, crap.
Movement.
We're going to bring that vehicle down over here. We're going to need it. Okay, next round. How do we want to do this? These guys are suppressed. These guys are suppressed as well. They were pinned, but again, a round is finished, so now they're able to be suppressed. These guys are scary, because they're unaffected, both of them. So I might actually want to take care of these guys first. 2 shots from the grenade launcher. The grenade launchers have scatter, so this might not land, but it's worth a shot, literally speaking. Let's go. Let's try it.
Grenade. We come in peace.
That worked. That worked. Okay, fair enough. Now these guys are suppressed. Reduced accuracy, right? Let's try and maybe suppress these guys as well. Ah, that grenade launcher is just too shy. Good open shots. Medium accuracy. Hope for the best. Let's try it. Nice.
They're hogging dirt.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, both suppressed. And end our turn there. Still behind cover, still deployed. What are we going to get up to? Nice.
Orders.
Nice, nice, nice. They shot horribly, again, because their accuracies was reduced. They are no longer suppressed. They've had their turn, right? Sniping away, I guess? Yeah, it's probably the most reliable action I can take right now. Let's go ahead and snipe one shot down here.
That's right. Go on and get.
Good stuff. Wavering, if I'm not mistaken, is what I saw there. And one more shot over here as well. Beautiful. Fleeing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Still staying put. No need to move. And let's turn this vehicle around and try and make our way over to this situation.
Yeah.
Alright. Gene, what to do with you? Open shots down over here, because these guys are now unaffected, right? So let's try it.
Targeting.
Don't love this gun. Let's go ahead and deploy Make ourselves a smaller target, increase our accuracy ever so slightly, and try again. At least they're suppressed again. Good stuff, good stuff. We can use the assault rifle over here. Pop a salvo. Try and finish these guys off, perhaps. Bit of damage, bit of damage. Come on, buddy. Nice! Got him. Sweet.
Shooting, Marine.
Oh, the barks, the banter really does bring the battlefield to life, I find. But that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Do I want to end turn here, or do I want to nudge forward ever so slightly? Let's head to the side ever so slightly, so we can move towards these guys next turn, perhaps, and get some shots off. Alright, more coming in from the side there. Lim, you're staying inside, buddy.
Orders?
Alright, we're up again. Now you are suppressed. Suppressed and suppressed, okay. These guys are scary, obviously. Not much we can do about them, though. We can try and, like, step away from them, I guess. I'm gonna start getting reckless now, aren't I? Alright, let's pop a salvo over here. Pin down, beautiful. Pop another salvo up over here. Nice, both pinned down, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Go ahead and end your turn there. Ooh, another one.
Orders?
Fair enough. Jane, I think, yeah, you're up next. These guys are just outside of our range, but they'll need to creep in, I think, to get any work done. Let's go ahead and fire down over here. Fleeing, beautiful. And I think now we have to move. Let's go ahead and stand up. And step this way, yeah. Let's go. And again, that's a squad of just 3 people, 2 plus a squad leader, and they've been so effective in getting so many kills. But let's end your turn there. Probably need to move a little bit closer as well. You can open fire over here, aren't you? Gonna take some hurt. No, we're okay, okay. Okay. We know what to do with you. We move all the way to here, that way Lim steps out, opens fire, and hopefully gets the job done that way. I could have potentially pulled back a little bit, but I don't think I'd have preserved enough action points. I think this was the right call. Lim. Let's get you to step out this way. Again, 5 action points. And then open fire over here. Down they go. I love the sounds of gunfire. It's so good. Do I want the burst or do I want the tap fire? 12 times 2 times 9 versus 12 times 5 times 9, but it's an impact on range and accuracy. I think I'll take this chance over here. Medium accuracy is good enough. Let's go for it. Nice! Oh, man!
Nice. Rip them apart.
Hell yeah, rip them apart. Beautiful. And now, again, because of that upgrade we got, that promotion we got, Lim can step right back into the vehicle. And that's why I wanted that setup. But we got even more over here. This is scary. That is scary, I'm not gonna lie. I think we need to kind of, like, pull back a little bit. If I pull over to... Oh, I gotta stand up, right, damn. Or I could just take a chance. Alright, how far can you shoot? I gotta move like 3 tiles over at least. No cover here, though, and that's scary. It's worth it, I guess. Alright, let's try it. Gonna creep up. And let's open fire on these guys short. Now, what's cool about ballistics here is that they're actually individual bullets, right? So I might miss these guys or I might hit these guys, but because my shots here are adjacent to these guys will also suffer a fractional amount of suppression compared to if I was actually targeting them and hitting them. But it should still be beneficial. I don't think I'll actually get them fully suppressed, but it'll help kind of fill that bar, so to speak. So fire away. Wow, that did wonderfully. And I guess, sorry, the adjacency must only apply for empty tiles. That's my bad, sorry. I got a little excited there. But let's go ahead and pop shots with the carbine now and hope for the best here too. Nice! Nice! The morale is real low. Watching your friends flee and all that kind of stuff has an impact on morale, so these guys are definitely on the low end of that right now. Let's continue firing over here, hope for the best. Okay, that's not bad.
Orders?
There's still time for this to completely, like, fall apart on us. I don't want to get too cocky. Okay, this is a good spot to deploy. Let's go ahead and deploy. Open shots. Question is where? I think here is a good idea. Fleeing, beautiful. And one more down here. Let's go. Oh, we missed! I think that was the first time we missed. I think that was the first round we missed. Alright, similar concept over here. Bring the vehicle all the way up. Lim can step out, open fire, and hopefully get some work done.
Engines engaged.
Let's go. Dang, there's so many of them.
Sitrep, scavengers.
There's so many of them.
We're mowing them down, Major.
Lim, let's get you out, buddy. Let's hope we can make some magic. Let's go. Alright, burst. Here, we might actually need to use the tap fire because of the extra range we need. But let's burst here first. Oh my god. Oh, are these guys fleeing as well?
Marine.
I think they might be fleeing as well, but, you know, why not tap fire? A little different. Pin down, okay. So they must not have been fleeing. They must have been wavering, maybe. But you can see how, like, it's different. The tap fire is noticeably different from the burst, and I love that it feels different. It sounds different. You can tell that they're behaving differently, the units. I absolutely love it. Alright, what are we looking at here? The assault rifle cannot reach.
Yeah.
Let's start with these guys instead. Pop shots with the carbine up over here. Try and get these guys like pinned, suppressed, wavering as well, perhaps.
In the green.
I should have started with Pike. That was a mistake. At least I got them suppressed. I'll take that. End our turn there. And Pike. Let's go with the salvo, I guess. Just too far. One step closer will do the trick, so let's go ahead and take that step. And we can get 2 sets of shots off, so fire away. Got him pinned, and I think one more of those should do the trick. Nice, wavering. Okay.
It's confirmed.
Okay. Cody is up. How do we want to do this? Try and finish these guys off, I think, is the first call. Let's go with that. Oh, that was miserable. Didn't do nearly enough there.
I agree.
Didn't do nearly enough. And I should have just gone with 2 sets of the salvo instead. Alright. These guys standing back up just to flee.
Orders.
Now they can still recover, they can still rejoin the fight. Unless I reduce them to a certain amount before they start fleeing, they're still very much welcome to return to the fray. How do I want to go about doing this? Jane
Orders.
can hit these 2, keep them suppressed, pinned, or maybe even wavering, and a death could get these guys to start fleeing again. And you'll notice, by the way, the gunfire continues over here, which again just feels so cool. Like, it feels like there's an actual, you know, fight playing out, which I absolutely love. But Jane, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and snipe. Try and hit these guys and those guys and try and break these guys back over here. Let's go. Well, they're fleeing now, so there's that. What about up over here? Wavering. Didn't hit these guys. But they're already in a bad spot, so I don't think they're going to do too well if they turn around and start shooting. We must outnumber these guys. That's why we're getting back-to-back turns. I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, Reno, can you fire from here? And I could just nudge a bit closer. Suppression's already looking pretty good. You know what? Stay put. Let's try this. That worked. Dude has no head anymore, I think. Something flew off. It must have been his helmet, I guess. That was amazing. That's great stuff. We can do another one of those, I think. Pop those shots up over here, and then Lim can step out and maybe finish these guys off. Fire away. Let's go. Nice. Right in the back. Hell yeah. Let's nudge forward ever so slightly. And then Lim. Let's get you out there, buddy. And burst down here. Nice.
Great work. Kill all the Kutta.
Nice, nice, nice. We got these guys up over here left. Let's, I won't be able to get them with Lim, so Lim back in the vehicle. And that's your turn done, buddy.
Sir.
What else we got left? Pop shots, let's go. I was hoping that would do a bit better than it did, but I'll take it. A little bit of damage, not too much. Let's go ahead and deploy. And up over here, this carbine can reach as well. And in theory, I should be falling back into cover, but I'm getting a little cocky, I guess. Dang, that did nothing. I should have pulled her back. Alright, Cody. Stand up. Let's get a little bit closer here. And then we'll deploy over here. At least make ourselves a smaller target. But first, Jane, in with the sniper rifle. You guys are fleeing.
That's it,
One of those guys is no longer fleeing.
What?
Let's see if we can't finish them off.
Sir.
Nice. There's like one more unit hanging out somewhere that we gotta like chase down. Stand up.
What?
This is where the vehicle comes real in handy. I'm guessing they're up top, not down here. Now here's the thing. The efficiency with which you complete a mission does make a significant difference in the rewards you get at the end of the mission. So, you typically would want to set yourself up for success with that in mind as well. You stay put in there. See if we can't find these remaining units. They are moving. They are still acting. But they must just be very far away from us.
Yeah.
Sir.
I don't want to get ambushed because, again, I'm kind of cocky right now or anything like that.
Orders. Hustle 103rd.
There it is. Goddamn. And that's risky, right? Because now I'm out in the open. Used up all my action points with Jane. Gotta play that a lot more carefully. Now let's move up to here. Still out of reach. Up to there. Let's go ahead and deploy.
What?
Yep.
Move you up to there. Something else out in the distance there moving around. Move Renu up to here.
Acknowledged.
Alright.
Sir. Move out.
Move up to there.
About time.
Orders.
Alright, Jane. Let's go ahead and deploy. We got 2 shots left in the sniper rifle. That's this little number at the bottom right corner of any one of these actions. So we have 2 rounds left in the sniper. Let's hope we can make them count. Number 1.
They're suppressed.
That one counted. and that one did lose his head. And I'm thinking maybe one more over here. Nice, he lost his head too. Good shooting. Good shooting. Now where is this probably last enemy unit, or is it that? You can peek over here.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Moving.
Stand tall. Let's move.
Sir. About time.
Put. There they are.
Enemy sighted.
Of course I went the wrong direction. Reno. Let's get you hustling as quickly as possible. And another one.
Hey, I got something here.
Crawling out of the woodwork. Oh no, we lost another one. I was doing so well too. I was so pleased with how we were doing. Dang.
Orders.
Alright, that's okay, that's okay. How far can we shoot? Not very. I mean, this isn't too bad. Still excellent accuracy too. Let's try and break these guys. Nice, fleeing. Not fleeing anymore. I'm thinking we...
I appreciate it.
Alright, we take a chance. We stay put over here. And I'm going to go ahead and pop some shots over here, see if we can't cause something. A marginal amount of suppression. But that's okay. End the turn there. Go ahead and pull you back, buddy.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sir.
Now, as we take damage and as we lose squaddies, the last squaddie to fall... Rather, after the last squaddie falls, your squad leader is in danger. And if they fall, they have a few turns of bleeding out, and you can actually go and rescue them. But if they're in that position, they can die permanently. Or even if you save them, they might get a permanent debuff to their stats. Or a semi-permanent debuff. It can last a long time. Going to continue to fall back over here.
Yeah.
And over here as well.
Orders.
Alright, let's go ahead and pull Lim out. I gotta move a bit closer. I want to make sure I leave 5 over so he's able to crawl back in, right? If I come up to here... Oh, it's just a bit too far. Alright, let's take a chance. Step up. Go with the tap fire up over here. Nice, wavering. Fleeing even. Beautiful. Yeah, hop back in, hop back in.
Orders.
Alright. Renew. Let's move forward and try and still keep a shot in us. Then I can go ahead and fire over here. And again, they haven't moved yet, right? So I could actually get them wavering. And you can hear the sound effect of if they start wavering or whatnot. No such luck, it sounds like. I'm going to go ahead and rotate the vehicle because I can, and that way Lim can step out in a much better angle. So let's go ahead and rotate, and as that's happening, Jane, let's turn around and... Well, first of all, stand up. Let's bring you up to here. And open some shots up over there. I'll take it.
Target.
Yeah.
It's your turn done. Pull you up to here.
Yeah.
Again, really hoping to bait these guys out a little bit. What are you trying to do here, buddy?
Sir.
Nothing too impressive. Nothing too impressive. Let's keep you over here as well.
About time.
Alright, Lim steps out. These fools. And burst fire. There it is. Mission accomplished. Again, we only needed to clear out 60% of them, so the ones that remain presumably have fled. Item received, large trinkets, probably tradable on the black market in the full game, but I'll go ahead and accept that, and strategic assets acquired as well. That's the expanded LZ that we were talking about earlier. And apart from that, I have a choice of one reward. Exploding reactive armor. Armor plates with small explosive charges that detonate against incoming shots and blunt the blast. Has a 70% chance to negate all damage from rocket-based attacks. Can trigger 3 times. Obviously a vehicle upgrade. Or we can get a heavy flamethrower. You might be able to guess which one I want. Shoots a jet of burning liquids at the target, setting it ablaze. Yeah, I'm gonna get the heavy flamethrower. And you can see, by the way, we've secured the expanded LZ, promotion points plus 16 because of our star rating. Now, where did our star rating come from? Destroyed 70% of the enemies, 13 out of 14 rounds. Maybe if I had been a bit more effective, I would have done better. Overall rating wasn't that great. And difficulty multiplier, obviously, we haven't adjusted our difficulty. But that determines your promotion points. But yeah, heavy flamethrower is selected. That's a reward. Moving on, we can take a look at the summary of our mission. Now, this one took me like 40 minutes, but that's because I was explaining so much as I was playing. Normally, they can be a little bit faster than that, and future videos, I will be faster than that, heads up, in case you're like, holy crap, this guy plays so slow. But that's mainly, again, because I was explaining every step so much. I'm even explaining myself explaining right now. But nonetheless, Lim, 6 kills, beautiful stuff. Received no damage, it looks like. A bit of suppression, I guess. Pike, 2 kills. Cody, 0. Jean, 0. Rewa, 2. Darby, 1. But of course, Rewa in with the assists, right? Driving Lim around to get those 6 kills. That counts for something. But you can also see we lost 2 squaddies, Arnold and Valkyrie. I believe those were both Cody's, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we'll see in the next screen. But we've done pretty well. Oh, and it looks like Lim has got determined. Because he did so well during this mission, he's got this temporary trait determined, triggered by enemies killed, giving him plus 15% discipline, which helps manage his morale, the likelihood of him wavering and stuff like that. And it lasts for 5 whole missions. And there are a bunch of these, both positive and negative. But well done, Lim. Let's go ahead and accept the completion there. Got our promotion points. I can spend those right now before we dive into the next mission. And we have a choice between these two, right? And Protect Town, I believe, is what we thought we were going to do. Simply because, yeah, it's a bit of an easier one. It should allow us to recover a bit from the loss of squaddies. If we do go to the squads screen now, you'll see that if we take a look at our squaddies, all the way at the bottom, Arnold and Valkyrie did die, and they were killed by pirate scavengers and a pirate chain gun team. Both from Earth, not great. And I do believe, yeah, they were both from Cody. His numbers are reduced. So again, now I can add more squaddies back to his squad, and that's all well and good, but I only have so many, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 unassigned squaddies. And you can tell, like, if I lose 2 per mission, if I lose 6 in this mission, I'm in a rough spot. And that was actually pretty good. That went a lot better than I expected it to, so I'm quite pleased with that, actually. But folks, this video has gone on for about an hour now, including all of my explanations and stuff. So I think this is where we're going to go ahead and call it a session. Apologies that it only included 1 battle, but I guess this was more of an explainer video. I'll have a couple more videos coming out on the channel that will hopefully either see the completion of this operation, or maybe I'll kick off a new one, and we can just kind of stay focused on playing the full operation start to finish, and just seeing how it feels and how it flows, and the unlocks and stuff we get and all that good stuff. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video today. I hope it showed you various bits and pieces of Menace that you were unaware of before, that hopefully maybe incite some questions, which I'll be happy to answer in the comments down below. But folks, above all, just as a reminder, if you did enjoy what you saw today, please don't hesitate to wishlist the game on Steam. I'll have a link to the store page in the description down below. Wishlisting a game is a great way to support indie developers in particular, just again because of how Steam actually works. And apart from that, if you want to see more Menace on the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and if you want more strategy gaming, you might want to decide to subscribe as well, because that's kind of what I like to do on this channel. Apart from that, folks, again, if you check out the video linked on screen right now, you'll be able to learn a lot more about Menace based on the dev diaries the devs have been putting out for the last whole year, actually. And otherwise, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of the channel members and patrons who've been supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.